Let's do it, Coach Brown.
Look at that. Stevie Lee, Coach Brown, still got it, man. He's shaking those hips, cutting the rug.
Still got it. I didn't know he had it.
Man, that's beautiful. And Miss Sally in the background, and Jeremy Sharp, who worked with media relations at UT. And then it's funny how people follow each other in that industry, multiple industries, and that we're all involved in. And that's beautiful. It's one of the few coaches, I can't remember the stat, but Mack's in a very prestigious level, win 100+ games at 2 different schools.
He's the only one.
The only one.
That's what I read today. He's the only coach to have 100-win seasons or 100 wins at 2 different universities.
That's amazing.
This is amazing, man.
Endurance, talent, ability, and loyalty.
Yeah, and opportunity.
Opportunity. Oh my God.
Yeah, he sees that moment for himself. And now, I didn't know this, but I started doing the math, but he's now the oldest head coach in college football as well. At 72,
wow.
He beat Saban by 2 months.
Oh my God! But Mack needs to give him another national championship.
Yeah, man. And I love what he's doing over there, man. It seems like the team loves him. His staff is always going to love him. Miss Sally's right by his side still, and you kind of. Well, I don't want to say it, but I kind of knew he had a little bit of Tar Heel blue in him.
Oh yeah,
he was here because they always kept a home there, and Sally always went back and forth. So it was, and I love it, man. It's he was burnt orange through and through when he was here, but I knew if UNC was to pop up, Mack Brown was going to go back home, and he did.
Well, Stevie, we're now starting this back to a weekly deal, the Pass Rush, and I promise my voice won't be like this every week.
Oh, no, I think it will be, man. And it's okay, man, as long as you're screaming for the right team.
Oh, man, yeah, I got to give this up to 100+ degrees, Memorial Stadium here in Austin, Texas and Rice, and that's what we're going to talk about today, but we got to give a shout out to the guys who really make this happen. Hargrove Roofing, based out of Stevie's hometown, Shreveport. But, man, they love this podcast, and they love the branding, and they love the Austin area. And one thing about them, just from experience, they do quality work on roofing and really care. And I'm not just saying that because they're the major sponsor, but what their slogan, which Stevie does so well, that's who they are. And that's what sets them apart.
No, they're good people. So give them a call if you need a roof, or give me a call and I can hook you up with the right people over there. But Hargrove Roofing, man, they do a really good job, but also they care about people. Hargrove Roofing, know who's on your roof.
There you go. There you go. All right, man. Let's be patient and battling this Barry White impersonation I'm doing. But Texas, Rice yesterday, 37-10 season opening win. It was kind of a slow start in some ways, but they won how they were supposed to. I don't think they covered, but 1-0. Your grade, your opinion on that victory?
Oh man, hey man, we got the win, so it's not an F. So we got to win, right? If you're asking me to grade the defense, I give them a B+.
Okay.
If you're asking me to grade the offense, I'm giving them a D.
Okay.
D,
okay.
Right? So team overall, you got a C. If you put those two together, right?
That's fair enough.
You got a high C. Offense went a little stagnant. Wasn't what I expected. So that has to pick up. Defense played great. I think I saw a stat before we, switched out the defense. The starting defense only allowed 6 yards rushing.
Yeah, it's pretty phenomenal what they did. I mean, they allowed 27 yards rushing on 25 carries.
Total.
Yeah.
Even after the starters went out and the backups came in. So before that, it was even better. So defense was decent. Was really good actually. I really need my offense to step up to that same level.
Well, let's get out of honor of you, since you're a former defensive lineman. God, my energy's lacking today. But the Hook'em D, we just briefly talked about it. Overall, I mean, you just mentioned part of it, and they had 2 interceptions. Ethan Burke, the Westlake product, 1.5 sacks. They were very active.
Yeah.
I know Rice was able to get some yardage in the pass game, but I thought with the season opener, and I know it was the opponent and the quarterback who has been at every school in America, it seemed like, and he played against Texas in 2018. I thought Texas really made him uncomfortable.
Yeah, and it was fun to watch the defense play against them. Defense really did everything they wanted to do. Like I said on the other show, in the base defenses, right? We didn't throw anything crazy at them. I didn't see any crazy front stunts. I didn't see any crazy blitzes and things like that, or zone blitzing and things like that. So we did everything we wanted to do with base. Now, let's get creative and fun and do some fun stuff this next week to throw off the next opponent.
That's I laugh because a lot of people aren't seeing this, the fans. There's a lot of frustration today, a little bit of irritation, not frustration. Yeah. I think that a lot of people are just so – I think a lot of the fan base – usually I criticize some of the things I see in the fan base, but I understand the fan base is as hungry as these players are to get a championship, and they're tired of this mediocrity. But I will say this defense is going to be special this year. No doubt about it.
Yeah.
Absolutely no doubt.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, there were a lot of bodies, and that's what a lot of bodies who played. And I think there were 10 guys young freshmen who played, and that's a big number. And that's what Sark was. You could see a little smile on his face. You tell me about when he was talking about the young Longhorns who played yesterday.
And again, I don't feel like at any moment any of them looked out of sorts. I think they looked comfortable, whether when Jonte got in the game and DeAndre and that crew, or Manny Muhammad when he was back there, DJ, Derek Williams at safety, Anthony Hill at backer, Leonga Lafau looked very comfortable. I saw Trey Wisner running down on kickoff. So a lot of guys that got in, that needed that game experience, which is helpful to us because they provide a lot of depth to our team.
Yeah, I'm so glad that he said that and recognized their names and all that stuff. He's like a savant with that. But it is good. It's also building for the future, you know, and not even future seasons. It could be later on this season where those guys are going to have to step up.
Now.
Yeah, now. So getting the young guys playing time in the beginning is just only going to help the team get stronger and stronger.
I agree. I really do agree. And because they're going to see it, and you could see a lot of different pieces to that puzzle come into play, especially with big games that's coming up this week. We'll get to that big game, but the offensive line, and I'm sticking to it. I'm still going to say it. I still think they're a top 5 O-line group in the country.
Okay.
But yesterday, I thought there was some miscommunication.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
Yeah, I saw miscommunication across the line. I saw now, granted, Rice was throwing a lot at him because Rice had to throw the kitchen sink out just to be in the game, right? And so they did. And they threw a lot of blitzes. They threw this, and that. They I think they kind of read off of our offensive line, which you can't give them any reads. And they knew if it was a run, they were just going to blitz anyway.
Yeah.
Right. And so they were blitzing, throwing everything at us. And it kind of worked for them, you know. But I don't know, man. I think that they got to communicate better. They got to I think they're big and strong. Footwork has to get in there, you know, a little bit of footwork by picking up some of those blitzes and things like that. But talking and communicating across the line, even after the ball is snapped, you still got to communicate across the line. So, and that's going to be a little bit harder to do with the next opponent in their stadium, you know?
Yeah.
But we got to get on the same page with the offensive line and the running backs. The running backs got to get on the same page with the offensive line as well, with max protections when the quarterback drops back, and so hopefully we can hammer this out this week. But what I do worry about is we put that on film, right? We put that on film that we are not communicating very well, so they probably want to throw a bunch of blitzes at us and different types of blitzes.
The exotic type blitzes. Yeah.
Exactly. So we got to look out for that next week.
Yeah, that is worrisome. But I still think when you play in your base, as far as offensive line, I think you get complacent. That's just my opinion.
Yeah,
I'm not trying to give excuses, but that I think that contributes to the slow start for Ewers.
Yeah,
I really do. I mean, Ewers was 8 of 12 in rushing with 1 touchdown, and he was 19 of 30 for 230 yards and 3 touchdowns. It's not bad. I mean, but I still thought he was rushed a lot. And people were talking, and the fans were saying he's still not accurate on his deep ball.
He's not. I feel like he's just throwing it up there, hanging it up there in an area for somebody to get up under it. And I mean, one of his deep balls went out of bounds, and who was that? Worthy had no chance of making the play. So, it's just keep the ball in play, let your receiver go and get it, and leading the receiver a little bit more down the field, because we got some fast guys that can blow the top off, right? And so that's what we got to figure out, where he needs to put the ball. We also might need to figure out, I mean, dare I say it, who our quarterback is.
You and I have been behind Malik Murphy for a while now. And here's the thing that I don't understand. When is this fan base or people – there was an article out today saying that fans are frustrated about Manning's playing time. I'm like,
Manning should not play this year. He should not play this year. He should sit behind these two guys and actually learn the playbook. Gone are the days that we need to put true freshmen out there
at quarterback.
And back in the day when I played, a quarterback was going to go to school, and that they were known to sit. They were gonna sit a red shirt year. That's it. True freshman at quarterback hardly came by. And then this era of playing right here, right now came along to where all these true freshman quarterbacks. I think that we need to go back to letting quarterbacks, because they're the heart and soul of the offense.
Right.
They have to run the offense, and they need to know that playbook back and forth. His uncles weren't as good as they were if they didn't know those playbooks, right? And so he's not ready to go and get thrust out there now.
You don't want to do that to him.
You don't want to do that to him. You're going to hurt him. You're going to hurt the team. You're going to hurt his confidence. You're going to hurt his career. Let him sit. In fact, you sit him now, figure out who our quarterback is next year. Let him compete for the position. He probably won't win as a redshirt freshman. And he plays as a backup. And let him acclimate himself to big-time college football. That's the route, and that may be an old school route that I'm taking, but that's the route you should take. And then compete his sophomore year for the position.
Yeah,
and actually stay in college at one college for 5 years to develop under Shark, to where you are basically writing up plays with Shark. By the time you are the starter at the University of Texas, and you can open up an even bigger playbook.
It's just he's stacking quarterbacks now to the point, to your point, to avoid being in that position, to have to, indoctrinate and put a true freshman out there, or even a redshirt. Now I get it, Vince Young, even going back to Major Applewhite, They were thrust into it early. Chris Sims did. Sam Ellinger did. Colt McCoy did.
Chris didn't have to, right? It was, I believe, pressures of putting Chris in. Major was doing just fine. You know what I mean? So let Major go ahead and finish out his senior year and let Chris, ride it out behind him, and then he would have had a better transition time with Coach Greg Davis,
I get it.
The OC at the time. So I think at the quarterback position, I'm just talking about the quarterback position, we need to get some time for these guys to actually develop. And it works. People catch lightning in a bottle. It works for some people, but don't throw this kid out there too fast. And and this is gonna sound cliche, and Danny probably hate this, but QB1 at the University of Texas is very, very it's a hard job. And putting a true freshman out there to take on QB1 at the University of Texas, it's really hard, and a lot of people have failed.
Yep, it's hurt some guys. Even Shane Buechele, Tyrone Swoops, Gerard Hurd, going down the list. There's a lot of them. But as far as this system, it's a very dynamic offensive system. I mean, Ewers has shown his value. I mean, that misdirection play to Jay Brooks down the sideline for the touchdown, well orchestrated, executed. But this offense does require the quarterback to be fleet of foot. And I know you're saying, Clinch, you're an idiot, man. He doesn't have to run that much, but they did need him. I mean, he had 8 rushes for 12 yards and a touchdown. And I know it doesn't sound like a lot, but Sark kind of elaborates on that, on needing the run game out of whoever is QB.
But we have to have wrinkles of that to keep people honest. And I thought, Quinn utilized that today on the touchdown run. So I do think what he's done all offseason, he's earned some of that opportunity to go and do that.
Well, that first drive, I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, but that's
all right,
man. It frustrated me a little bit. He rolled out, I think it was 3rd and 6 or something like that.
Yeah.
He rolled out, and there was nothing but daylight in front of him. He tripped over his own feet, And so we ended up having to punt on our first possession. It was 3 and out too, So I think it was 3 and out. Anyway, but so there was one time that he could have gotten the first down and just failed on his own. There was another time he tripped over himself. And so he just needs to, if he's the guy, calm himself down and not get antsy back there.
I agree. And, the one thing that I do think we're missing, we always harp in this game because this is a pressure program, that the flip side is when they were facing adversity the second half, I know it's Rice, but the second half Quinn came. He showed up. He did. They're going to need that second half Quinn, especially this week, because there's going to be a battle between Jalen Milroe and Quinn Ewers, and this was a sample of him yesterday or this weekend.
In for Alabama. Bad snap. Milroe scoops it up, and he's trying to make something out of nothing. The ad-lib for the quarterback in his second start, and he is in! Touchdown, Alabama!
He was once a UT commit. Out of Katy, Texas.
Yeah, well, we let another one go, man. Yeah. It's all good, and that kid does look really, really good. So, our defense got their work cut out for him this week, but he was throwing the ball well as well. I watched a little bit of that game.
He's dynamic for both throwing and running.
Yeah, so good luck to him, but we got our work cut out for the defense, man.
It does, but you know what? Milroe has waited his turn at Alabama.
Yeah, exactly.
So this is a hyped up week. What's your intuitive feeling, your gut feel on this game in Tuscaloosa? Last year, Texas lost by a point.
I still think we win the game.
Okay.
I'm still all over us winning the game. I believe in my coaches that they're going to make the changes and adjustments that need to be made over this week. I still think that the defense going to have fire in their eyes. We came out relatively with no injuries. Did you hear about our running back?
Said Baxter. I think he's landing on his chest. I think I haven't heard the results of any imaging today, but I think he just had the air knocked out of him. But they're going to take precautions, see if there's any bruising, sternum area, whatnot.
Yeah, no questions. Yeah, so I think that we are we're good and healthy still going into this game, and this was a tune-up game to get the jitters out and come out on fire. I still think we win the game.
I think Texas wins in Tuscaloosa by 9.
By 9. There you go.
I don't know what the points will be, but I think Texas wins by 9. We're going to keep it under the 10, 7-9, but I'm going with Texas by 9. Hey, Cowtown, the unthinkable, shocked the world. It happened. The team that played for a national championship faced the team that so many people doubted, and it was a prime time win. And I love this piece right here. 2 Buffaloes, former Buffalo quarterback Joe Klatt, and now the current CU head coach, the primetime Deion Sanders.
So when we see you that opening week on Big Noon Kickoff, you think you got a team that can go down there and compete?
I don't think. I know.
Sanders takes a knee, and how about this? Prime time. Deion wins his first one on the road against a team that played in the national championship 1 year ago.
Baby, look, it's not head games, and I know it's just one win, but nobody believed that Colorado could do anything. They kept, and even I'm guilty of saying that. They were 1-11 last year. He replaced 50-plus people. There were a lot of cancers in that locker room. He gone. Got him out.
Yeah.
People say he was doing things just for show on social media.
Yep.
No, he's recruiting.
Yeah.
Got it done, Stevie. I was impressed.
I was impressed as well, man. I was actually on my way to the stadium, and my wife calls me. She stayed home. She calls me every play that she's screaming on the couch by herself. It was exciting. It was fun to hear. And when I got to the tailgate, I watched the game, and it was good for him, man, because we all got critics, man, right?
Yeah.
It was that it was a lot. For Deion Sanders, there was a lot of people like, oh, he's doing a good job with these kids and doing this, and that. Then there was a whole nother group that was like, he's messing up this program. They're going to just fall on their face. They might win 2 games this year, And all of a sudden, he goes out against a team that played in the national championship last year.
Yeah.
Right? And went in their house and played them, put up 45 points against them. Right? Yes, they gave up 42, but, it's TCU and they have a good offense.
Yeah, they do.
But to come out with the W out of all the naysayers, right? And for him to come out with the W with his 2 sons, man, how special is that to coach your 2 sons at this level back in the city where they grew up?
That's a great point. I didn't even think about that.
Back in the city where they grew up and close out TCU Horned Frogs that played in the national championship last year. Right, in the playoffs last year. So that's fairy tale beginning for them.
Hey,
I can't wait to see what the ending is going to look like.
Well, I'm going to say this. You speaking of, so one of his sons, a quarterback who was Jackson State's quarterback last year, Shedeur Sanders, listen to the 510 yards passing. This is unreal.
Yep.
4. God, I sound like I'm going through puberty again. 4 receivers, 100-plus yards receiving.
Yep.
Those are both all the 4 receivers, Shedeur records. See, Colorado football records.
Mm-hmm.
all I'm going to say is, and I want you to hear this, and then I got a little something to say, and I can't wait to hear what you have to say. But, Deion Sanders was calling out the media. He was keeping those receipts of all those criticism you mentioned. And he I'm not going to say it was disrespectful what he did, but afterwards he kept those receipts, and then he wanted to show them after the game.
What's up, boss? You believe now? You hold on. Oh no. Do you believe that? Huh? Oh no. I read through that bull junk you wrote down. I read through that. I sifted through all that. Yeah. Oh no. Come on. Do you believe?
Wow.
Yeah.
Hey man, look, you got to stand by what you write. Stand behind it. Stand behind what you write. Stand behind what you report. I mean, I know, yes, sometimes it is your job. You have to do your job.
Yeah, exactly.
But if you're going to write something and it's about someone, stand behind it, right? If I say something about Quinn on this podcast and he gets wind of it, if he come to me, I got to stand behind what I said.
You and I both. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll stand behind what I said to his face. So if this media guy, whomever he was talking about, was backtracking, hold his feet to the fire, Deion. Now, Deion, it's one game, right? It's one game. It's one game. Now we got to keep the momentum, and you got to play another game next week. And so,
Nebraska, old rivalry.
Nebraska, right? And Nebraska's not being Nebraska like Nebraska that we used to play in Nebraska. I wish they were, though, man. I wish Nebraska was still Nebraska, man. But he still got to go to. Is it at home or at Nebraska?
Oh, it's in Boulder. It's in Boulder.
That's good. So they'll get their home stadium hype because they won in Fort Worth, and so it's yes, calling you out on receipts, but also I'm also of the school of silence is deafening sometimes, so let that guy ask his question, and then you're like, yeah, I remember, and then just move on. But Deion didn't. Deion's that guy, man. Deion's that guy. He's gonna call you out. And that was fun to watch, man.
It is, but like
it
you said,
was fun to, and you know what it reminds me of? Phil Knight. He said when I die, I want them to bury me on my stomach so all my critics can kiss my ass.
Oh, Bobby Knight.
With Bobby Knight. What did I say? Phil Knight? Bobby Knight. Yeah.
You got Nike on your brain.
Yeah, I do, man. Yeah. Is it Bobby Knight? Yeah.
Yeah, the legendary basketball coach. Yeah.
Basketball coach. Bury me on my stomach so all my critics can kiss my ass.
The late Abe Lemons, when he was basketball coach here, DeLoss Dodds ended up having to fired him.
Yeah.
And he says, he always joked because DeLoss Dodds was a track coach and track star at Kansas State, I think, something like that. And he said, I want to bury me upside down. So my critics, and he was referencing DeLoss, I think, so he can kiss my ass.
Yeah.
Hey, DeLoss is a fine American, by the way.
He is. He actually is, man. He really cared about the kids. He was the AD when I played here.
Yeah.
So he really cared about the kids and tried to do as much as he could for us. But the big NCAA restrictions, man, the NCAA, they're tyrants right now.
Oh, well, they're hypocrites at the moment.
Yeah,
hey,
absolutely.
Before we take a quick break, because we got a lot of stuff coming up, some other major upsets involving a team not far from Austin, but got to give a shout out to the event staff at DKR Memorial Stadium. I thought this was a fun group here. This is as fans were exiting the game. I'll admit it. You and I both left early, and you may have seen these dudes right here. This was fun.
That's fun stuff, man.
That's bringing fun to your job.
Yeah, it is, man. It reminds me. So when we signed that Longhorn Network deal, there was a rumor that we had, because it's ESPN, we had Disney training.
Oh,
yeah. Everyone in the stadium had Disney training and wanted everyone that came in the stadium to have the Disney experience. So that was Disney training there.
That was Disney training. Hey, you know what? They may need some Disney training down in San Marcos and for entertainment, because they got a lot to be entertained by here real soon. And we'll talk about that on the other side of this break.
Here at Hargrove Roofing, we try to think outside the box to kind of get the creative juices flowing. So I brought in my friend Stevie Lee, former defensive tackle for the Texas Longhorns. He's going to help the team strategize, really motivate them, light a fire.
This guy's going to block down. This guy's going to block down. You put your butt into the guard, and that way my Mike linebacker gets free to do what?
Not only are they going to learn a thing or two, but they're going to also leave with a great attitude and a bunch of smiles on their faces.
I'm sorry, what does this have to do with roofing exactly?
Get out.
Right now.
I said get out.
For me, that's what it's all about. It's just having fun, making our employees have a great time. Hargrove Roofing. Know who's on your roof.
Well, that was pretty fun. Told the guys the new era of Texas State football. I think those guys came out with a bang. They believed from the moment I got here. And just really proud of the players and the staff, support staff, everyone involved. Couldn't have done it, without all those guys. And we got Don Coryell and President Danfus for giving me an opportunity to be the head coach here at Texas State.
Stevie, G.J. Kinney, a former Texas high school football star, quarterback at Canton and Gilmer. I think he played for Coach Traylor at the end of his career. And, that program was made when they made the transition to FBS. They have not had much success as far as being consistent. And now they've got a new administration, the president, AD, and that's why I'm without calling anybody out, that's why they have not had that success to date, because you have to have an alignment. Mm-hmm. And that's just it. They did a great job transitioning from FCS to FBS, but they didn't have the right people. And I'm going on commentary here. And it had nothing to do with the head coaches before. It's alignment. You got to have brilliant minds and alignment. And they beat Baylor and Waco. And that was – I don't care what side you play. I guess if you're on the Baylor side, it's not fun, but – that was a good team last night. Texas State's pretty good.
Yeah, it was it was fun to hear it too, man. I was like, wait, what happened? So it's good for them. It's good for Texas football.
Yeah, it is.
Right. Yeah. So that's awesome. Happy for them down there in San Marcos, and just keep it up. It's going to be fun to watch.
No, and this was the tweet that came out from ESPN, Historic Day. 26-point underdog, and they win by 11.
Win by 11. That's awesome.
And they've got two great quarterbacks in that roster. It's going to be fun to watch Texas State as they progress. It's about time. It's time. I know there have been some other coaches who have tried it, and they just have not had the most – they've had some bad luck, let's say that. And it was, so you take Baylor, you take TCU, and then you both go down on the opening weekend in games they were supposed to win. Mm-hmm. And then Texas Tech got wrecked in Laramie, Wyoming. Oscar Giles he's assistant for Wyoming. Surely he's still – I wonder if he has a bar tab open in Laramie. That's did you see that game at all?
I saw the highlights of that game. I thought you were going to roll a clip of the game, man. Yeah, so I saw the highlights of the game, man. It was awesome to see, and I knew Coach Giles was on that roster. Coach here at the University of Texas, played here at the University of Texas. I'm so happy for him, man, for going up there and beating the little brothers of man. So, coming to play at the University of Texas, you're bred to hate A&M and you're bred to hate OU. But my biggest rivalry personally was always Texas Tech, man. I hated Lubbock. Yeah, I hated going to Lubbock to play Texas Tech, man. So, and they were just nasty. The fans, the players, the coaches, everyone was just nasty, and I didn't like them at all. So, even though they are a Texas team, you kind of smile a little bit when they get beat like that, So, but Wyoming is nothing to shake at. We got to play Wyoming, So, we got to learn from this film, So, these guys are they get scholarships too in Wyoming. So
Wyoming it's not like they've had success. I mean, they usually go to bowl games. That's a blue collar area. Collar, and that team represents that area very well. I will say what I laughed about. Listen, I love Joey McGuire. Love him. He's a Texas high school football coach and legend. Mm-hmm. Highly respect him. When he said, I know he didn't think it was going to be blasted out. When he says the nation college football, the national championship runs through Lubbock, something like that, or what did he say after they beat Texas last year?
Yeah.
And people were tweeting, apparently it runs through Laramie.
Yeah. And then Wyoming football tweeting got wrecked.
Yeah, that was perfect. For people who don't know, that's Tech saying wreck 'em Tech.
Wreck 'em Tech, yeah. They got wrecked.
Texas Tech, I will give it to them. They have a good football environment up there on game day. It's nasty.
It is nasty.
Before we wrap things up with some fun, man, it has affected people globally. The legendary singer, songwriter Jimmy Buffett passed away. He said he passed away with family at his side. I don't know what he was going on, but what was going on health-wise. But, man, I tell you what, the first lady of the Man Cave, Tess, and I, we got to see him live last year, and this is just a little snippet, and I'll tell you a story about this song that everyone knows, and everyone was affected by the outpouring of support for his death.
So it all started right here in Austin. Thank you.
That's awesome, man. That's pretty cool.
Margaritaville, baby. So here's the story. The genesis of Margaritaville, Austin, Texas.
Really?
In the, I want to say mid-'70s. He was visiting friends who lived on, you may be familiar with this street, in the 78731 zip code, Northwest Hills. Visiting friends off of Shadow Valley Drive.
Okay.
Very wooded, hilly area street. My jogging path, walking path, whatnot. It's usually a fast walk. Visited some friends there. They leave Shadow Valley, go eat Mexican food at one of the first Tex-Mex places off of Anderson Lane in the Village Shopping Center. And it was motivated at that place. And they went back to Shadow Valley, the house, started structuring that skeleton for that song. And then on the way back home, flying back, that's where Margaritaville all came together.
Wow. That's awesome, man. That's what he said. This is where it all started here in Austin.
Right.
And then he played the song. That's awesome. That's cool, man. That's a good experience.
I'm going to tell you something, because I had heard that story, and I didn't. People asked me because of my ties, because Anderson High School area, and I wasn't real sure. And I was like, man, that's really cool. And then he talked about it at that concert, and I was like, there's the confirmation.
Yeah, absolutely. That's good stuff, man. Rest in peace to Jimmy Buffett. That's
100%, man. He's a guy delivered a lot of smiles and good times to a lot of people.
Yeah, I stayed at his resort. What?
Oh, did you really? The legacy continues.
The Margaritaville over in Conroe.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Yeah. I've not been to that one yet.
Yeah, it's a bunch of family, man. If you single and don't have any kids, I don't know if you'll like it.
I'll avoid it.
Yeah. Well, now they have a Margaritaville in Shreveport, Bossier City.
That's an ideal place for it.
No question. And it's a casino. So you can have some adult fun there.
I'm on that.
Yeah.
I'll be on that. Stevie,
Yeah.
we're going to do this as fast as we can, but since it's been a way, I got a couple of surprises for you on the TikToking in the man cave. First off, a young lady, she's a realtor. You know, realtors, they do, they like to renovate and repair, rehabilitate homes.
Yeah.
Well, this poor lady, she needed some caulk to make some repairs, and she had to go to a certain hardware store.
I have never in my life pronounced an L so hard as when I just went in here and asked the guy at Home Depot for some caulk. Like some caulk.
With a hard L.
A hard L. Man, I wish I want to message her to see if she's got a twin.
Yeah.
That's my kind of girl.
Hey man, you shoot your shot, bro. You
shoot my shot.
You miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
You only miss 99% of them.
Yeah.
Hey, if you're batting 300, hitting 30%, you're doing great.
Doing great, man.
Well, here's the one I can't wait. Couldn't wait to show you. I ran out of time with Coach Bailiff at Texas State, but I said this is perfect. It happened for a reason. Kids say the darndest things.
When you're trying to make it to the dock and your partner says this.
Just let me out and let me shit. Or forget about it. Just let me shit my pants.
Hey man, we've all been there, bro.
Hell, it just happened to me today. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. We all been there, bro. Hey man, the little girl had to go to the restroom. Y'all should have just let her out, man.
Just drop trowel. Now you got to just take care of it.
Yeah, man.
Hey, there's been some moments, when you're out in rural America.
Yeah.
You just
gotta go.
You get a knife or some scissors, cut loose, cut bait, and go on. And hope there's a shower within it.
Yeah, no question, man. No question. That was awesome.
Hey, babe, tell me something good.
Time of year, or for the favorite time of year is a ride, but man, what else can you add to the positivity and by telling me something good?
Tell you something good, man. What's really good is we got our first test. This is going to be a fun game to watch. Alabama. We're going to Alabama and try to make amends for what happened last year here in Texas. Hopefully we get some better referees. But it's going to be fun to watch. It's an away game. The people that are not going are going to stay back here and have their favorite beverage on the couch and watch and have a fun time watching this game, man. And hopefully, like I think we will, come out with a W, leave the couch, and go hang out with some friends and celebrate. It's going to be fun. That's something good, man. Looking forward to it. I don't have volleyball this weekend, so we are looking forward to having a good time with the fam.
I love that, man. I love that about the Stevie Lee family, man. You guys do a lot of stuff together, and it is a big week. It's going to be a fun week. Even people who don't like Texas.
Yeah.
Now they're going to count down to this game. People are going to keep an eye on that because the guy who I just had on the podcast, a Longhorn that played on last year's team. He's now a realtor in the area, and he's a very intelligent young man, and he's got a lot going for him. Pretty funny dude too. Diamante Tucker Dorsey. He was a linebacker on last year's team. He did say that when Tavondre Sweat, that was that play in the end zone that was horribly called, he said that was by far a safety.
Yeah.
Or intentional grounding.
Easily. Yeah. I agree with
you. 100%. So look at this. Longhorn to Realtor, just like you. You two are going to connect. I love that. That's how Longhorns help Longhorns. This guy, when you meet him, off the charts, brilliant. And he's going to be on the episode, which drops on Tuesday morning. And yours, this one's obviously Monday. Everybody's watching on Monday because they want to hear about the aftermath of the W against Rice and hear a little bit about Alabama. We'll have more energy. Stevie picked it up today. Help me out. But, so that's Diamante Tucker Dorsey. Great episode, great guy, and kind of inspiring, too, for his background. And, of course, being a realtor just like Stevie at a very young age, man. And can't wait for you to see it, too. For the great Stevie Lee and the OG Man Cave boys, that being Hardball Hards, Big Mike, and Coach Mo. What do we tell them, Big Stevie?
We out.
You see the drippy, I'm fitted up. Hop in my car and the giddy up.